to invite on stage Mr. Abhishek Mathur, Senior Group Manager at Wartsila India, and he'll present on the topic Guarding Against Digital Manipulation, Exploring Social Engineering and Phishing. So ladies and gentlemen, once again a huge round of applause for the industry session number 4, Mr. Abhishek Mathur, Senior Group Manager, Wartsila India.
Hello everyone, I'm audible there. So thank you very much for having me on this stage and present about this topic. It's a topic which we had been discussing since morning about fakery, the digital fakery primarily. Just wanted to check, this is for the change of slide, yeah? All right. So we had been talking about it since morning about digital fakery, the things how digital manipulations happen, and how people are being conned by social engineering. So that's a topic I'll be discussing today. Can we have the slide, please? I thought of changing the topic a bit because, as someone said, I think it was Yusuf who said, during COVID period, most of us being played. Someone said that every now and then we hear the stories that someone was hacked, someone was played, and someone had to pay, lost about 100,000, 200,000, 20 rupees or whatever, but that's how we are being played by many. And it's not only about the loss of money, it's also about reputational loss, it's also about organizations being conned off. So moving on, and as I said, the topic is primarily sorry. Okay, as I said, as the topic was guarding against the digital manipulation, exploring social engineering and phishing. There are two topics involved, and I want to start with some data here. In 2022, Interpol reported money laundering had been the top one, but for just small change with ransomware, phishing, and online scams, these kind of scams are picking up lately. And that has been a kind of concern area. And if you move to the next page, which says the trends going forward is ransomware and phishing will take over a way ahead, and followed by another very risky one, which is online child and exploitation and abuses. And this is all about how we behave on the online, on the cyber platforms, on the computer platforms. But talking about digital manipulation, the challenge here, I start with the challenge point, is often we don't know whether it's fake or real. The reason is because this digital world provides a lot of opportunities as well as the traps. And it has become over and over very difficult to differentiate whether two things are actually real, as I said, or fake. And what is social engineering? Social engineering, as the definition says, the clever manipulation of natural human tendency to trust. That's one aspect. Then anxiety, another aspect. Any greed, okay, that's another aspect. All possible human natures are being manipulated. That causes the social engineering. As we see, there are 4 phases of social engineering attacks. Generally, and this may be applicable to other attacks as well, but talking about social engineering per se, attackers does the recce, collects all the possible information. That's the first step. They do a lot of research, there are a lot of effort going from the attackers, and they are trying it in the wild, and try to get as much information as possible. That includes the jobs, hobbies. She asked us to ask each other's hobbies, right? And that was a kind of collecting information. Then they place a hook. Attackers establish contact using available information to earn trust. And the moment that happens, then the connection is established. Then they are able to find the targets and do all the tricks, bad tricks of the world, cons the people, and once that is done, generally they try to break the connect without arising a suspicion. So people believe it was a genuine thing, or it was something wrong I did, and it happened. If you talk about the traits of social engineering, at the start, by the definition, as I said, heightened emotions. They call up and say, hey, my person is unwell, I need money. They call up someone making the deep fakes, video messages that I'm in a hospital, I need money, and people try to send money and then they are conned. Send their addresses, that's a very common thing. We have seen they change the zeros to O's to every other thing, and the addresses are spoofed. Strange friend requests, they send as a real friend, and people get into the trap. Unprofessional websites, we get those so many emails with hyperlinks there, and those generally these emails look alike and they look very nice, and but those websites can be malicious. Attachments, they had been doing rounds for years. Doubtful senders, unidentifiable senders, refusal to respond to questions. So this is also very, very important, that refusal to respond to questions, in the sense that when they try to create an anxiety of what's happening, why they are not getting the answers. But most importantly, the bottom line remains, anything too good to be true had to be thought twice, thrice, 4 times before acting upon it. Some data, again, it's a common breach types which has happened, cyber crimes which has happened, and it's going up. If you talk about 2027, it will be like 23.82, and that's the data from Statistica. I know many of in the house would be knowing about these possible popular social engineering attacks, phishing and sphere. That's a topic. Phishing, where no two emails are there are no two emails which are similar. The attacks are different. When they do a targeted attack, they call spear phishing. Quid pro quo, give and take offer. They give offers that which is very, very like asking you to download a free software or that kind of stuff. Biting, irresistible offer. It always reminds me of Tom and Jerry show, where the Jerry Mouse is seen being trapped with a cheese cube. CEO or executive fraud whaling, that is impersonating, and someone spoke about in the morning that people try to push the younger or the juniors, hey, you do this because I'm some other person calling and I'm the CEO, or that kind of stuff. Watering hole, it's like a hunting ground. This is a very interesting case where the attackers actually compromise the real website, where the employees or the users go and put their credentials, but the website is already hacked, so they take out the details from there. Wishing, smishing, pretexting, tailgating, threatening, and many more. There had been a lot of ways of doing social engineering. Responding to a question never asked is most important. Now we know what are the types of social engineering attacks we have, but what is more important is how not to be a victim of social engineering and digital manipulation. We had been stressing on this since morning. Learn to recognize the social engineering tactics by making employees and everyone around familiar with the tactics that social engineers employ. They create anxieties, as I said. They create curiosity. They create greed. They create hunger. They want you to try new things, and that's all human nature. So in short, they try to make you use all the possible human natures. Be aware of the data being released. I think that's very important, and it was discussed in one of the panels. We need to put weight on the data. What can be released and what cannot be released, what should be kept confidential. that should be defined and well classified. And also, I think Tata Communications person spoke about identifying the valuable information, what can be shared and what not. Who can share it? I think that's also very important. Now, how to prepare for it? Enhance the security with multi-factor authentication. That's very important. Most of us are doing that. Include behavioral analytics tools. If critical payments are released on a maybe on a Wi-Fi, unsecured Wi-Fi, that should be stopped, and there are ways to do it. Strengthening of passwords using password manager, that had been a kind of pain area for many in the last panel discussion we had. Everybody was talking that we had so many passwords, right? Although we are trying to be passwordless, but there are a lot of portals, there are personal portals. How do we handle that? Use password managers. We need to conduct regular phishing, testing, simulate phishing campaigns. That means we need to be disaster ready. We need to prepare ourselves what will happen when there's a disaster. We discuss about the regular patching and security updates. Every second Tuesday of the month, Microsoft announces if you're a Microsoft shop, ensure that you patch them right away. Implement continuous monitoring and incident response practice. Incident response practice is very, very important. Otherwise, whenever there's an attack, it's all be chaotic kind of story that what to do and what not to do. That was about what to do in case if you're compromised. But in prevention front, it's quite similar story. Verify before interacting on the web page from the link. Be aware of strange behavior not known. So if you get some email which is, as I said, too good to believe, you need to be really, really sure. Urgency, another human nature of downloading files or doing something else, stop the game. As they say in the soccer, if one team is really fast, the other team try to slow down the game. So it's a similar game between the bad actors and the targets. Do not give in to the offers from strangers. If you get free offers or anything from the as such, do not give in. And probably not to give the benefit of doubt. Don't leave your laptops, build risk-aware culture. That's very, very important, right? That we need to build a culture all around. As on the security front, we speak about security by design. But we have to build the culture here. And it should be a part of vocabulary. Ensure that security is a part of your organization's vocabulary. So this had been the topic since we had been discussing, but I want to touch base on how the game is changing with the artificial intelligence and social engineering. It's a match made in the cyber crime heaven. AI has created a kind of bigger challenge for the standard security practices. AI has powered the phishing attack and are outsmarting our cybersecurity practices. What we had been discussing since morning had been a case that all what we learn is actually being challenged right now. The advancement of AI and ML techniques, hackers are creating those malicious emails which are more, they're running more sophisticated campaigns, more targeted campaigns, more realistic campaigns. They're tailored, compelling and personalized phishing attacks. So they knew using the AI that what is the personal preference, where it looks that it is a genuine email. Realistic content generation, as I said. And worst part is none of the systems what we have, technologies we have, are ready to defend the AI-powered attacks which are scalable to an extent. Very, very high scalability. That ensure, because they are scalable, that ensure the success rate for the attackers have increased many folds. Now, as I said, AI has come out with a challenge. So let's use to fight the fire with fire. In the same spirit, I think I'll take a few more minutes to the organizers. Adapt the world of AI-enabled attack. Use generative AI like ChatGPT for phishing simulation. So if the attackers are doing so, in our simulator programs, in our testing programs, in our trainings, let's use the same. AI-based security tools to use machine learning, natural language processing to threat detection, and to flag suspicious communication for human investigation. So primarily, if something suspicious happening, someone is doing some big transaction at an unusual hour, unusual act, trigger them, and these are all available technologies. Use generative AI powered tools to detect when emails were written by a generative AI tool or it is a human written emails. So there are tools available which will detect whether ChatGPT was used in writing this email or it was like done by the human. Keep attending the Cyber Express events because because then you learn and you interact. That kind of communication is very, very important, and of course, embrace the zero trust. That's the key point I have. That's all. That's my time. Any questions, guys? Team. Yeah. Do we have a minute? There's a question. Excuse me. There's a question. Mic is.
Check, check.
Hello. Yeah, that was really a good session. You mentioned about the risk aware culture. Okay. Major issue in India is like you must have seen resumes of the people. Okay, right now, Naukri, Monster, Times Job, everyone actually have a gold mine of information. I have seen resumes where people have mentioned about their Aadhaar card, passport details, validity. Even some people have mentioned about like his father is a goldsmith. Maybe and like for me, how I take it like this is the guy I can actually kidnap and his father can give me a good ransom actually. So that's how the information, how much we should share is the problem. Okay. And another part like the NGM attack where someone spoofed the LinkedIn profile, took up the data, and then like did all the entire attack. So when building this risk aware culture, it is not just like within the cyber or within the company, but it's a lot that from grassroots level actually it is required. So how to tackle that problem, and that is the biggest concern that we have.
You're right. As we all know, human is the weakest link in the game. So this culture has to be inculcated right at all levels from the schools because now students are using mobile phones. They're getting on the social media. And if you spoke about India, we have a lot of cultural events, Ganesh Utsavs and other stuff. We should, and they have their sessions, right? We can also have those sessions. I think this community got a lot of responsibility to go ahead and volunteer themselves to conduct these kind of trainings, right? This is very, very important. And this is nobody going to push that. It's us as the part of the community who had to take that flag forward. And talking about what data we have on those job portals, I think again the use of the same anxiety, right? The more I put the data, probably the hiring manager will find it more suitable, and that's a story. But you're right that that's a challenge, and I think LinkedIn's have started using masking information as such a bit. All big organizations will start doing that in future, and things will move in at a particular pace. But very good question. Thank you very much. Anything else? I think that's time. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone. You had been a kind audience.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I would like to request Ms. Preeti Chaube, content strategist from the Cyber Corporation, to kindly come on stage and present the certificate to Mr. Abhishek Mathur, sir, Senior Group Manager, Wartsila India. And what an insightful session, sir. Thank you so much for such an informative session. Once again, a huge round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.